All right, so we taking bets. Justin, Nate, or Alexis? Who winning in the fight?
Alexis.
Alexis, yeah. All right, so listen, this is Conversations with the Crawleys. My name's Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
And we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps and reviews of, and commentary on some of our favorite shows. This one is all about part 2 of the reunion special for Married at First Sight San Diego. So you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, request notifications,
and share.
And we will see you in the comments. Consider becoming a member and checking out the merch store. All right.
Oh, just side note, Justin thought we were funny. You remember he
came
and
just as like he said something to the effect of, "I got y'all riled up." No, and if we honest, maybe you should have been worrying about riling up Alexis, but that's a whole other story.
Anyway, I thought I was just mentioning you. You go ahead and add your 2 cents.
On this channel I do. And it's not 2 cents. It's a whole $5.
It's a whole $5.
I'm gonna add it. So.
Okay.
Alexis and Justin. This is where we pick up with the part 2 of the reunion. He says that she tries to manipulate the truth. And there's a conversation about whether or not she came to his house in the middle of the night.
And he's still claiming that she did. And she's like, I must have been so drunk and out of my mind. Came to your house, got home, and still forgot.
Yeah.
So
then he says that she wasn't really there for love. She was there for clout.
Yeah. I really think that she was there for love because she stuck it out. Because clout for what? To do what? What? I just don't get it.
So there used to be at a point in time with reality shows, you could try and go on a reality show and make a career out of it after the reality show, but those days are done.
Or it depends on the reality show.
Definitely depends upon the reality show, right?
This is a marriage.
This is a marriage on Lifetime.
Thank you.
So
it's not like you adding a spouse to your life doesn't get you in Hollywood doors.
So
but again, he's speaking from emotion that everyone's out for him and no one wants to be with him, and so he has to put it on something else. But
okay.
But
based upon the things that, and she says that she kind of pushes back and is like, if I was here just for those things, I had to push through a lot of things. She's like, I had to push through. What did she say? She said she kept moving past things. She kept looking past his looks because she wasn't really attracted to him at the beginning. So she was looking past that. She was looking past his emotions. She was looking past
him crying.
His crying. She was looking past all these things and still there. Mm-hmm. So we've seen, because was it last season where Basic Girl was just who she was. She wasn't feeling her guy. She received notoriety. If she was just there for clout, she could have responded that way and gotten all the notoriety.
Because she done Basic Girl hoodies and you name it. I forgot what they were calling her. Yeah. They were calling her something else.
We called her Basic Girl.
I know you called, but she was trying to make money off her advertising.
Right.
Oh, I'm a
nice person. I'm a nice person. Yeah.
I'm a good person.
Yeah. Whatever it was.
Whatever.
So anyway, Alexis is like, because Kevin's like, well, could there be a chance to rectify? She's like, after today, I'm done. She's like, I am not putting up with this foolishness any longer.
And he says he's working on himself. So Justin was like, no, I really want to work on myself. He got his dog back.
Yes.
So he's like, ain't no chance.
So then they bring out his brother and her sister.
And
if you remember from the very beginning of this season, the brother was like, you ain't ready to be married. Mm-hmm. I'm concerned. Don't do it. So Kevin was like, do you think he was ready to be married? The brother's like, nope. No. He was not fully ready to be married.
And what it took to be married.
And I'm going to say it again. The sister said she had reservations because Justin was hot-headed. And she was like, basically, y'all get this soft, but he has a way with words. Mm-hmm. So he says stuff that cuts. Mm-hmm. And so she had a concern from that aspect.
Mm-hmm. But I think they were very level-headed. Mm-hmm. They understand that they're both passionate people. Mm-hmm. The brother and the sister was saying. And they wished it worked out, but they understand what their conflicts were and what it was going to take for them to make it work.
Yes. So yes, he did get his dog back. The brother was not impressed with that, with him giving up his dog. He was like, because you're going to resent her after the fact anyway. So the fact that you made this grand gesture was just setting yourself up for further failure later on down the road.
They set the dogs up for failure. So everybody really kind of dropped the ball in a sense.
That. Yep.
So.
The brother even said that the problem that Alexis had was that she had to handle Justin with too much care. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. When your family is saying, yeah.
Exactly. But, and I know he says that he's working on himself now, but sometimes you have to tell your family member, like, look, dude, if you want to be in a relationship with a woman, you're being overly emotional. You know, he called him a little B. So if you're going to say that you're going to, you know, be wanting to be a husband, a woman's going to know that you're going to protect them and that everything's not going to get to you when they're sharing things.
Yeah.
And maybe he did, and he's just not listening, and he had to find out the hard way.
Yeah.
But he was in other relationships.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times people want to tend to put it on the other person while they left, but they're not taking a hard look of how they looked in their relationship. So.
Yeah. Alexis and Kristen, then they have a conversation with just the ladies. Alexis and Kristen, all the ladies are pretty cool and cordial with each other. Alexis and Kristen
talk every day.
are like talking every day.
Yeah, and they have a group chat. So
now we also find out that Morgan, in the whole situation with Morgan, Ben, Alexis, and Justin, Morgan came to Alexis, and then Alexis spilled. We were made to believe, at least we feel, that Alexis ran over and was telling Morgan, when actually Morgan was like, I'm having problems. What is he saying? Tell me. And Alexis, seeing her friend in distress, says, okay, here's what's happening.
But my thing is this, you get to vent to Alexis?
We'll get to that when we get to Morgan and Ben, because I fault the Married at First Sight producers, because no one held Morgan accountable. Kristen is still, the ladies all were fed up with Mitch.
Yeah.
Stacia had a name that a nickname for him that rhymes with Mitch and starts with a B. That was her name for him. Like, anytime he showed up, hey! All right. Kristen is still wearing her ring on her pinky finger.
Oh, really?
That's what she said.
Oh, okay.
Other things that just came out with that, Alexa said that she felt she had to be strong and maternal as it comes with Justin. Morgan just feels that Justin was unstable. So the ladies have their perspectives on what's going on. Alexa said that there were times when she was just tired of his crying.
It happens.
Yeah. Then they go over and talk to all the guys. Kevin talks with all the guys, and Ben and Justin are still cool. They still hang out, what have you.
And you notice that all the guys hang out except for Nate.
Yeah. Or they all hang out with each other except for with Justin, really.
That's probably what it is.
Then. Yeah. Because Nate was like,
since he's blocking people.
Yeah, because Nate was like, he just cried too much. I can't hang around that. I can't deal with that. So then they bring out the experts, and the experts start kind of going through some of the relationships, right? I can't remember in the order, but I know. Let's just talk about.
Well, they first brought out Mitch and Ben to the experts,
right? And
they were talking about what did they learn, where have they grown from, and they were just kind of talking to Ben about that he's not a bad person. You know, maybe he was thinking too much and putting a perfection on his marriage and on the spouse and everything.
Yeah.
But as he continued to work on that, overall he's a good guy and that he shouldn't be so hard on himself.
Yeah. And again, I think that I fault the producers. I fault how this was done for the aspect of Ben, because I don't think anybody advocated for Ben.
Like they should. I agree.
So, Mitch, of course, was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said some of the things I said early on.
And he didn't understand what it took to be married. He's like, maybe I should have looked at some more episodes. You could, and then you probably just kind of analyze, well, they should have did this. Anybody can say what it takes to be in a marriage until you're in a marriage.
But it's also a lack of emotional intelligence. That's really what, in my opinion, Mitch has. There's a lack of emotional intelligence of being able to knowing how to communicate, knowing how to say things to people, but also knowing how to keep your mouth closed and kind of keep your thoughts to yourself sometimes. Because not everything you think has to be said.
Well, and
unless you have a YouTube channel, then you can say what you want to say.
Well, also, he was saying that he felt like he put himself in a bubble.
Yes.
Right? Because he didn't want to be judged or told what to do. So he created his own world without contributing to the outside world. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in his own little world.
Yep.
All right. Then who did they have next?
Then after that, they had the ladies. Oh, no, they had Justin and Alexis.
Okay.
And when they had them out, you know, again, they were just talking about, okay, what did we gain from, you know, what we learned and how could we have done better? And they got to the point where Justin admits to, regretting giving up his dog.
Yeah.
And that he was resentful. And it was more of him pushing her away because of that.
Yes. And Dr. Pepper makes a observation. She's like, part of the problem was that maybe Alexis was wanting someone that was more of an alpha male than what Justin was providing or could be. Because even, you know, Pascal was like, man, you gotta stop crying so much.
Because we want men to be, want men to show their emotion.
Right.
We are people. All people has emotions.
There's a difference between showing emotions and being emotional.
There is.
And so, yeah, so Justin was emotional, and Alexis, I believe, would have been okay with him showing his emotions. Yeah. So, they're at least, as of that, they're cordial because they still, I think, they still care for each other.
Right. Where they can be
he's
friends.
like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said this. I probably shouldn't have said those things. Right. But they're not moving forward. The experts are like, maybe, possibly, we're not going to say it's off the table, but he's going to have to do some work. He's going to have to get help in some respects, in some areas. Not saying he's mentally unstable, but he's going to have to get some help in some areas so that he could be, if Alexis is the one for him, so that he could be the man that Alexis needs, but also the man that he can be for Alexis. So, Morgan and Ben talk with the experts.
They talk to the experts, and you know, again, he says where he played his role in this, and then you know she kind of eased in. Well, I could have gave him more grace, and it just kept seeming like they didn't put enough emphasis. They'd be like, well, what did you learn? You know, Morgan, concerning how you could have had more grace toward Ben, and you know, you kind of gave up. But at the same time, it was just like, I would rather them say, look, when you want the same grace we gave you through this process,
or that they're giving her by not bringing up her issues, right?
You did not give Ben. He's never been through this process. None of us have. None of y'all have. And for the way that you treated him, it could have been better. A lot better.
Because again, remember, this all started not from Ben. It started from her.
And no one never... that's the question I wanted someone to ask.
Why was it so important that you say that you have your bachelor's, admit to Ben that you don't, and get upset because he questioned, because he doesn't understand your profession, he doesn't understand your industry. I myself, if I hadn't worked in education, would not have understood that. So why would you make that an issue when it's not really an issue?
It was an issue.
You're what, maybe a class away, a credit away. Fine. finish up the credit, you're fine. You have been in your career for a number of years. Awesome. But why do you feel that you have to hide the fact that you don't have your bachelor's degree, but you're in your career, but you're a credit away? We don't get why that's an issue to feel like you have to hide or make a big deal out of.
Yeah, so from there, it just kind of went downhill. Now, he did indicate that he had made a pledge to her not to go, which is wrong when you
absolutely
decide to do something different than what you said you were going to do. Granted, I get that. But at the end of the day, we weren't there. We couldn't talk to her and ask the questions that needed.
And again, she found out the information because she went to somebody and vented, but he couldn't go and vent to anybody.
So, supposedly, as she indicated, she's in counseling. That's where she needs to be. Because she admits that she shouldn't have gotten married. She wasn't ready for marriage.
Yep.
And anytime you can blow people off, because she said that if someone makes her mad or do something, she just blows them off.
Yeah.
They're gone out of her life. Well, that's the issue. Especially when you're talking about having a long-term relationship.
Yeah. Other things that I remember from that was Lindy. There was the conversation between Lindy and Stasia, because Lindy and Stasia had a conversation early on where Lindy was like, she wanted to wait until there's a huge emotional connection for them to consummate their marriage. And so when she did that, like 24 hours later, Stasia was like, wait, did what you said and what your actions are two different things. And Lindy was like, well, I'm grown. I can do what I want to do. You're grown, but you still ain't had no health insurance.
Well, no, let's look at it this way. Mm-hmm. She came off naive. She set this up.
She didn't come off naive. She was naive.
Okay.
She is naive.
Okay. Let's say that. Okay. If you want to say that, I'm saying the camera made her feel that way.
Gotcha.
As sometimes she shows that she has this life experience because she goes to different countries. She travels. Mm-hmm. Okay. So at points, that's why I'm saying.
Okay.
It made her come off naive.
Gotcha.
At other points where she's talking about she's this world traveler, that's why she spends her money, that's why she had all these student loans. Because she makes good pay, but she likes to travel and go places, okay? Mm-hmm. So that would make you knowledgeable and blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
All right? So you're talking about you basically lived in this kind of religious
commune or whatever.
It wasn't a commune. We're not putting that out there. We don't know that.
Okay.
We just felt like the way she described her story of her childhood.
It was very sheltered.
It was very sheltered.
Yes.
So you're sheltered. You go away to school. You're away from that religion. Now you're finding yourself. You're exploring everything. Mm-hmm. But you come off with this kind of airhead, So that's what's in Stasia's mind. Mm-hmm. You tell the ladies, I'm not going to have sex until I know I have emotional connection. Mm-hmm. He is coming on to me. Mm-hmm. So you set this story up.
That's true.
Now, Stasia could have ignored it and say, well, whatever happened, y'all married, could happen. But Stasia is also taking from her own experience of feeling pressure to do something she wasn't ready to do. Mm-hmm. But so Stasia is saying, from my own experience, and then what you laying down as an individual you're presenting to me,
right.
I want to make sure this girl is safe.
Right.
And I would have thanked her. I was like, hey, I may have came off like I didn't know what I was, what mm-hmm. I wanted and mm-hmm. everything. I really appreciate you looking out for me.
Yeah.
Because women do get in situations
mm-hmm.
where they feel pressured and they end up doing stuff that they really didn't want to do.
Absolutely.
And Stasia was making that a safe place for her.
Yeah.
And Stasia was like, I was just checking, which I'd rather someone check because more times it happens the other way. Mm-hmm. No one checks on that woman.
Right.
And she ends up in a situation where she done things she didn't want to do.
Yeah.
So that's really how that picture went, Mm-hmm. And I see why Stasia would gone that way because I would have felt the same way.
I don't fault Stasia for that.
I don't fault her at all.
Stasia was basically trying to say, if you need an advocate, I'm going to be an advocate for you. If you need somebody, yes. So,
I give her kudos for doing that.
Other things, Justin and Nate got into a little.
They still. Nate was like, I'm going to just pick with you. Maybe you'll cry again. Nate was like,
I think Nate was trying to make him cry again. I think Nate was trying to do that.
Nate was like, I'm so annoyed.
Throwing jabs.
Every time they was talking about his crying, he's like, I think it's weird. And y'all can sit around here and say, oh yeah, you wish you could be more emotional. But he's like, it was too much.
Yeah.
For another grown man, it's like, and I feel like he's very in tune with his emotions. It wasn't like he didn't cry throughout this.
No.
You know, he had his moments, but he was like, Alexis said he cried every day. To me, that means something's going on.
That's
every day you cry?
Yep.
Now when something happens, you allow that one thing every 365 days makes you cry? I don't even cry that much. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it. I can't think of anything else. There was nothing major. Let us know what we missed.
They had little bloopers.
Yeah.
They showed when they had fun and they were being themselves.
There was the conversation of why Mitch didn't feel like wearing that shirt.
Oh, yes. And they talked about that. And Kevin did ask him, did you feel hurt by Stasha calling you the B word?
He was a little, yes.
And he was like, yeah, I can see how that could be hurtful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she apologized. She
did.
said, I'm so sorry.
Yep. So that's it pretty much for this season. There is going to be a Where Are They Now next week. We'll do definitely do a recap on that. And then we'll be gearing up, of course, for Married at First Sight.
Awesome.
And where is it? Nashville, Texas, Tennessee.
Oh, they're going to be in Tennessee.
Yeah, somewhere in Tennessee, I think.
They're going to be in Tennessee. Correctly. Everybody's in all different places.
Yeah, and y'all can tell we do a lot of shows because we be mentioning some of them on different shows. So, listen, that's it for this one. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.